When I look back at my experience through elementary and secondary school and think about school lunches, my memories are not cherished. Do they conjure up memories of mystery meat and tater tot casserole for you? How about mushy canned peas and syrup-laden canned fruits? Can you believe that so many children buy their lunch today because parents feel that it's more convenient or a time saver in the mornings? This topic is fascinating to me because little do most parents know what kind of food their child is being fed. Everyone should be aware of the many risks that are involved when sending their children off to school with the expectation that their kids will get a healthy meal. I would like to talk to you today about the importance of well-rounded and healthy meals being offered to students as opposed to some of the horrible choices currently offered throughout all schools in the entire nation. First, let's look at the ever-growing problem of childhood obesity and the consequences of such an unhealthy weight. Obesity is now considered to be one of the most pressing medical and public health issues today, not just in the United States, but in the entire world, affecting children as well as adults. Just as the media routinely covers reports of famine and malnutrition in the world, now obesity, at times referred to as an epidemic, makes front-page news. Americans have been getting heavier for 3 decades, and with this extra weight comes serious medical issues, not to mention the associated economic costs coming along with that. Whether counted in terms of the number of lives affected or by its cost for medical care, obesity is a serious problem. When you look at the exact numbers, it can be quite shocking. 130 million adult Americans, almost 65% of the population, are overweight or obese. Exactly, or almost 300,000 deaths a year can be linked to obesity. Not only that, but Americans spend $30 billion a year on weight loss products and services. Also, obesity-related healthcare costs us $117 billion a year alone, which is staggering. I found these facts in the medical essay, Weight Control, What Works and Why. Until recently, obesity was not considered to be a major health or economic problem. But in 2001, almost 25 years after the National Institute of Health declared a warning on increasing obesity rates in America, David Satcher, the former U.S. Surgeon General, call to action paper proclaimed obesity has reached epidemic proportions. To efficiently execute a healthier program in schools, schools first have to say no to foods that are universal in most schools' cafeterias now. These include highly processed foods full of sugar, sodium, fat, preservatives, and artificial coloring, along with trans fat, which are directly linked to high levels of cholesterol, along with high fructose corn syrup. Since this highly processed and extremely dominant substance was first introduced in the food marketplace in the 1970s, the rate of obesity in this country has almost doubled. Before that, the obesity rates were level or stable. And one of the big issues is, as parents and as student or as schools, we must say no to treats that essentially undermine nutrition, such as vending machines which contain soda, candy, chips, cookies. When students can easily choose to buy these non-nutritious items, they are much less likely to try healthy offerings. I found these foods to avoid in the article Lunch Lessons by Ann Cooper. And although what I've asked you to give up is ingrained in our everyday lives, there are a multitude of healthy available options currently. One change schools can make is to start cooking from scratch or using actual ingredients as though you're cooking in your own kitchen. For example, schools should stop serving chicken nuggets, frozen chicken nuggets, and instead possibly even cook baked chicken or roasted chicken, because not only is those foods not fried, they're usually fresher than frozen chickens, which have been filled with preservatives. According to Kathleen Wolin in her book Obesity, she has determined that since the 1970s, portion sizes of most foods have significantly increased. Fast food places for a while now have offered supersized meals for many, many years now. Restaurants offer massive plates of food where most of the time an average sized person cannot finish without a take-home box. It has also been found that the portion sizes for recipes prepared at home have increased too. You may ask, what are some healthy alternatives for lunch and other meals that you can prepare your child? Some suggestions would be ham and turkey for the sandwiches, Jell-O, fresh vegetables like I have here. Carrots are a good thing, maybe with some low-fat dip. Lettuce is always a good choice, very good. Along with that, you can get whole wheat bread as opposed to white bread. Natural fruits such as tomatoes, and here's some bananas, great source of nutrients. And also a great suggestion is get a low-calorie yogurt as opposed to ice cream or other fattening dairy products or dairy desserts. In the article Childhood Obesity, What We Can Learn from Existing Data on Social Trends, Part 1, the author states, the number of overweight and obese youth have been increasing dramatically in recent decades, and there is no sign that this trend is ending. Of course, as a parent or a student school official, you play the leading role in your child's nutrition and overall health. Make sure you know what your school is serving your child. If the choices aren't healthy, go to your school administration and lobby for a change. When you fill the lunchbox, mix it up a little bit. Include whole grain bread with a lean protein such as meat, fish, or peanut butter one day, and then pasta salad the next. Add a range of brightly colored fruits and vegetables, and maybe add a low-fat dipping sauce, as I suggested before, to make it both inviting and nutritionally balanced. Instead of a fat or sugar-filled treat, show your love to your kid with a note or a sticker, possibly even.